girl Zandra. I'm back for another chat with Zandra. I got my happy pants on, got my scarf, and my coffee milk. My mug is coming to you today from the Gateway Arch in St. Louis, Missouri. And I am ready to chat with you guys about back to school essentials. So when I started these chats with Zandra, I told you I was going to show you my authenticity, and here it is. So going way back to when I was in elementary school, I was raised by my mom. She had 6 beautiful girls. We didn't have a lot of money. We lived in low-income housing. We had exactly what we needed. We didn't have a lot of other things. From my recollection, and I'm the youngest of 6, I don't remember us getting a bunch of back-to-school clothes. I remember getting one pair of Lee jeans, one shirt or 2 shirts, or maybe a couple of outfits, but I didn't just go like back to school shopping. We had our school supplies. We might have had 1 or 2 outfits, and that was it, because we couldn't afford it. So when I had babies, my whole thing was, I don't want a bunch of kids. I want to be able to give them everything they need. And one of the things I thought they needed was like a shopping spree every year when it was time to go back to school. So even if they didn't need clothes, or even if we didn't need supplies, because did I mention I'm an educator? So that means I already have a bunch of school supplies in my house. Even if they didn't need it, we went shopping. We were going to Walmart. We were spending thousands of dollars on different journals or different folders and a new book bag, even if they didn't need a new book bag. One year, we were living in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, and I had a huge suitcase. And you know, I think our suitcases can be over 100 pounds. I had a huge suitcase filled with a bunch of school supplies that my girls really didn't need. We would also go shopping. I would buy all of these different clothes. Half the clothes they didn't wear, I would end up either having a yard sale or giving them away to some of my nieces. Like, it was just very wasteful. And every year we repeated this trend. And I think it goes back to my childhood from me not having a lot. So I wanted my girls to have a lot. So I'm sure you're wondering what happened to make us start to scale back. And I think one of the biggest problems, or one of the biggest revelations I had to make, was we're buying all of these things and we're spending all of this money. And I think it was because I didn't have it as a child. So a lot of times we want to give our kiddos things that we didn't have. And a lot of times that can be very wasteful. In the year 2019, we were living in Bahrain. The girls and I came home for summer break. While I was at home for summer break, I got a job offer to work at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, Tennessee. And so that meant that the girls were going to start school in Bahrain and then come back to Tennessee within months, right? And so at that point, I decided we didn't need to go back to school shopping to buy all of these different things. We needed to buy the bare minimum, go back to Bahrain, use what we had, and then when we came back to Tennessee, we would then get the items that we needed. It just didn't make sense to buy a bunch of stuff, take it over there to bring back. And we used the same idea, I guess, for their clothing items as well. Of course, they always get a couple of pieces during the summer, but when we were thinking about going back to school, they got a couple of new things to start the school year in Bahrain. And then when we came back to Tennessee, we were able to go shopping again for them to get a couple of more pieces for them to start the year here in Clarksville. And after that year, 2019, that's when it all changed. 2020-21 school year, we started looking at an inventory. What do we have? What do you need? And then we went from there. Sometimes though, Cedric, like, Ryan is not a tennis shoe person at all. She hardly likes to wear tennis shoes. There are other types of shoes that she would prefer. But this year, Cedric was like, send me a picture of the tennis shoes you want so I can get those tennis shoes. Ryan, send me a picture of tennis shoes. We go in the mall. Ryan is not looking at tennis shoes. Riley and I will buy shoes galore, right? And so this year, Ryan was kind of forced to get a new pair of tennis shoes. But that's another story for another day. All right, so start to do an inventory of your school supplies, of your clothing items, and only get what you need, right? Most of the time, these girls wear leggings and sweatshirts or a graphic t-shirt. Like, it is not that big of a deal to go out and spend all of that money on supplies and things that you don't need. Make sure that you are only picking up the items that are needed, okay? All right, something that we don't always think about that is needed is our mental health. So when you're thinking about sending your babies back to school, make sure you're checking in with them to know how their days are going. Even if you don't have a lot of time, you're out of the house before they get ready and leave for school. They're catching the school bus, or maybe they have after school activities. And then when y'all get home, you don't sit down as a family and eat dinner together. That is something that is very essential. You should spend some time or make some time for your little ones. And if you don't have a lot of time that you can spend doing that, you could use sticky notes. You could leave a sticky note to tell your babies to have a good day, to start off the day. We don't know what they might encounter when they get to school that day. So if they have a little sticky note or something from you that you leave on their bathroom mirror or on the refrigerator or somewhere that you know that they are going to see it before they leave your house, then make sure you do that. Because our babies, all of our mental health is very important, and we want to make sure that we are there for each other, especially the people that are in your house. So make sure that you're paying attention to the mental health of your loved ones, right? So that is very essential for going back to school. I talked about sticky notes that you could do. You could also use journals, and that can just be a way that you communicate back and forth with your kiddos. If you don't want to leave a sticky note, the most important thing about this is just making time and holding a space for your babies in the event that they need to talk, or they don't want to talk about it, but they need to tell you something. So have something in place that would allow them to share how they're feeling. How was their first day? How are their friendships this year? What's going on with them? You need to know about your baby's mental health, okay? There are also some mindfulness journals that you can get for your babies. If you don't want to just write notes in a regular journal, there are some guided mindfulness practices that you can do so that you can remind your babies that they are responsible for them. Sometimes they need to just stop, take a break, and think about what they are in control of. Sometimes as adults, we get all worked up about the things that we can't control. So if you know that we do it, you know that your babies do it all day long. They're trying to problem solve and control things that are out of their realm, right? So we need to make sure that we're providing them with the resources they need to be good with themselves. Something else that you don't always think about is building relationships with your baby's teachers, your kids' teachers, regardless of them being in kindergarten or a senior in high school. I have a senior and I have an 8th grader. And being an educator, it's just always like the emphasis is put on the teacher to build relationships with the families. Like, you're in a partnership with those families. But parents, if you're listening, it is also very important for you to build a relationship with your baby's teachers. It just makes sense, right? Your babies are with those teachers all day long, every day. Sometimes we might not see something that the teachers see, and if you have a relationship with them, then they might send you an email and let you know something seemed off. It is not solely up to the teacher to build that relationship. Parents, we need for you to build relationships and show up for your babies. Sometimes we have to work. My mom was a single mom of 6 girls, so I totally understand that you can't be at everything, but make a concerted effort to show up for your babies, and that is going to be very essential. This is something that is very important that someone shared with me as an educator. I didn't do this with my babies, but about 9 or 10 years ago, I met a person by the name of Dina. I won't say her last name, but if you're watching Dina, you know who you are. She used to do these celebrations, first day of school celebrations with her babies, and they would have a big shake, or they would have something when she would have something prepared for when her kids came home from their first day of school. They would have this celebration. I took that on. My girls and I have this celebration. It might be going out to eat. It might be me picking up Starbucks or cupcakes or Chick-fil-A shakes or whatever it is. I try to do something on their first day of school to let them know that it's going to be a great year. Let's celebrate a beautiful start to the year. You don't have to do it on the first day of school. You could also do it the last Friday of the first week of school. Find some kind of way to celebrate your baby. We always celebrate at the very end of the school year. Something else that my girls and I used to do when we were living in Bahrain is every 2 weeks we would go out to Starbucks after school. We would get our nails done. Like, just find some time to celebrate your babies, right? And while you're celebrating your babies, make sure you take time to celebrate yourself, because you're doing a great job, right? Sometimes we just do the best thing that we know how to do, and you incorporate different things as it fits your family. These are just suggestions, some essentials to help you all have an amazing school year. All right, now this is very important. For those of you that are military connected or you're going through any kind of change, these books are amazing. They are great essentials for the beginning of the school year. This first book is PCS Season, Riley's Journey to Discover PCS Season. It's all about a little girl who's having to move with her military connected family. You might not necessarily be a military connected family, but you might have endured a move. When I was in 8th grade, my mom moved me from Sylacauga, Alabama to Alexander City, Alabama. It was my last year of middle school. I was not happy about that. And I thought I was going to be like losing all of my friends. I wanted to go to the high school that my siblings had gone to. It was just such a big change for me. So this book can help anyone going through change, because it talks about why change is important, change is inevitable, how change can be sad, rewarding, and exciting. Moving can be all of those things. So if you're interested and you have a little one, the main character is in kindergarten, her sister is in 4th grade. This is a great book to help your baby go through change if you are having a change this school year. The second book is PCS Season again. So this is like dealing with the military connected child that's having to move again. I see my ring light and I'm trying to move out of the way so that you all don't see it. But this book talks about Ryan dances with the possibilities of change. So it's another book that focuses on change and some of the changes that the military connected child goes through. You might not necessarily be military connected. However, you might have friends that are in the military and you want to understand them better, so that we can show empathy for people that are going through different types of changes. This book goes through some of the things that the military kid goes through, and I share a bunch of information about what you can do if you're going through some of those things. This is a great book for upper elementary kids or for anyone that's going through change and is trying to figure out what they need to do to cope with the change. So this book, I also want to plug this book, Big Dreams. Big Dreams is essential because it talks about my life growing up in low-income housing, and it might not be your story. You might not have grown up in low-income housing, or your baby might not have grown up in low-income housing, but this book talks about having big dreams and watching big dreams become reality. And the reason I like this book so much is because it allows you to make a list of your dreams that you have and put plans in motion, right? So that your dreams can become your reality. So whether you're starting off the school year and you have some big dreams that you want to accomplish that year, this school year, this book will help you to accomplish those dreams. In the back of the book, there is a guided journal, and some of the things in the journal talks about confidence. And if you have confidence in yourself, what does that look like for you? It talks about inspiration. Then it allows you to write down some of the people that you inspire. It asks you who inspires you. If you are interested in getting yourself an autographed copy of one of these books, then they can be found on my website at www.oursquarejourney.com/shop. You can also find these books that I can autograph for you on my Etsy shop at Our Square. If you would like to order your copy from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or Books A Million, Walmart.com, you can do that as well. Unfortunately, I would not be able to autograph those books for you. There are also some great mindfulness journals that are on Amazon and search for different types of journals that might fit the need for you and your babies as you're going back to school this year. All right, y'all, it's your girl Zandra, and I hope you have enjoyed this chat about some back to school essentials that I think are very important for you. Maybe you had yourself some coffee milk. Hopefully you have on your happy pants and you are enjoying this beautiful Sunday. I hope to see you in the next video. Please comment. Tell me what you like about the video, what you did not like about the video. And I will be giving away one of each of these books to the first person that leaves a comment. You have to leave a comment and say, I would love an autograph book. I think it will be great for my family or my babies. You just have to ask. You ask and you will receive. And I'll see you, the first 3 people though, right? The first 3 people that ask for a book, I'm going to send it to you free of charge. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.